Hey Spuddies, Potatomcwhiskey here, and welcome back to Let's Play Imperator Rome. This isn't Civ. Oh goodness. I'm in such a habit of saying that I say it incorrectly at the inappropriate time sometimes. Alright, cool. So we are getting a religious advance. In fact, we're going to go here and then capture this province here, because I want to take a slave if I can. Looks like they've got a lot of freemen. We've got a new ruler. He is of the civic faction, which gives us some build time and some extra tax, which we will happily start using to build more buildings more efficiently. Let's have a look at our inventions. We have due process, sacrifice to the gods cost, wrong culture group happiness. This one's going to be really, really good in the longer term, so we're going to make sure we pick that one up. We've got a bunch of this oratory power sitting around that we could use. Let's have a look at freemen in the capital. So I'm thinking, yeah, we need to promote some freemen in the capital to bring up the research ratios. Let's just go through. We're up to 92%, so we'll do a few more promotions. Capital region. This will hurt our manpower, but that is not too important to me. I can't tell where one of these begins and one of these ends. I think that line there is, yeah. It's going to be a very top-heavy province for now. So we're almost efficient again. Let's just do a few more of those. There we go. We're up to 100%. We want to be at 100%, ideally. We want to try and hover around that 100% mark so that we can stay technologically on top of our game. Let's let a month tick over to see how badly that hurts our manpower. We were at 160k max, gaining 500 a month. I'm expecting that to dip. So we just lost 20k manpower from doing that, which is understandable. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up. Let's have a look at our unrest map mode. We actually don't have much unrest, amazingly. So I guess what we'll do is we'll grab some population growth. And what that'll do is it will, unsurprisingly, just increase the population that we have. We're growing a tribesman in the capital. That's annoying. I'll have to manually promote him to prevent any more tribesmen growing. Oh, unfortunate. Our tyranny is almost entirely gone. Our aggressive expansion is slowly draining away, not quite as fast as one would hope. I'm not sure if I really want to try and siege these guys down and maybe take them out later instead, and just focus on getting a foothold here. I'm taking out this guy next. I think that's the move. What happens if I were to declare war? He would become the leader, and then the Macedon would come in. Egypt would join this war. What? Why would you join this war? Whereas what if I declared war directly on Macedon? So it looks like Egypt has decided to meddle in our plans to expand here. And we will have to instead turn our eyes down the south of Italy. It actually looks like Sicily is doing pretty good, holding them off. Carthage is seeming to struggle right now. We haven't quite failed to contest. So we can make this guy more convicted towards the mercantile faction. Sure, you become more mercantile. That's fine. I actually don't mind this as long as it's not the populists in power. Okay, the military faction. I'm gonna boost those just a scooch. The military faction is in power now. They got a decent leader, and hopefully we'll be able to take this out. Lacking a leader in one of the legions. Right, a 19-year-old aggressive military leader. Sure thing. There we go. We took a couple of slaves. Can we sue you for peace? Now, I could use this as an opportunity to go fight these other guys. I tell you what, let's grab... See if we can't get a stack. Maybe we could get a single siege off. We'll see. We'll have a look. Oh, martial advances guy. I'll slap you in there. I have 100 civic power. I could get siege engineers for sure. We want to get siege engineers. That'll mean that any future sieges will go a little bit quicker, meaning we burn less manpower. Let's see, any of these things unoccupied is really what we're looking for. This will be friendship. Okay, how are we doing on relationship here? Still waiting for relationship. We're already integrating these two guys. Still waiting for relationship with you, that's fine. The populist faction is going to be... Sympathetic is called... So his anger has led us to have a bit of a rift with the populist faction. Because he's upset with how things work. But if we can get these two siege down, that would be pretty good too. Oh, this army over here lacks a leader. We will put this tactician in. Oh, actually, he would be really good for one of the other armies. It's like, this is like the only army where he would not be the perfect leader. But we'll take him. A lot of my old men in my country are dying. You're pretty effective. Lower the cost of stability raising. I could probably land another fleet in here, but I don't want to be overextended too much. Gains arthritis. Let's see if we can siege this down now as well. It'll take a bit of time, but I'm going to take these provinces as... I might take these guys as vassals, perhaps. If I take them as vassals, they would serve well for giving me sort of land-based power over here. A shrine to Isis. I would lose some power. But I would gain money. I will gain that money. That money seems really great to me. Let's do some marketplaces in the capital. Oh, have we actually fully built out the capital? Interesting. No, there's room. So that's it. We've built all the marketplaces we can in the capital, and that should result in a decent amount of civilization boosting. Which will make us just more advanced. What else could we do? We could start sorting out all of our forts and stuff, but I'd rather like get rid of all these other guys first. Like, I'm actually pretty happy with this fort layout here. I would maybe plonk a fort down here in Pisa. We have another chunk of money. We could, for example, do granaries in another province. Maybe we go with like this Etruscan province. We just slap down granaries everywhere and get the population to grow really quickly. Or we could also do marketplaces and just make my civilization level increase. Because there's a lot of benefits here. Yeah, let's do granaries in here. That seems like fun. So that's this province. 1, 2, 3, 4. Plus it'll keep the slaves happy, which is always cool. Alright. Yep. Come on now. We can grab another idea. Military tradition cost. I definitely want that. It's like getting a... It's like getting an 80-point discount on every military tradition for the rest of the game. Sue for peace. So client state can be made an integral part of Rome. How many diplomatic slots do I have? That's the real question here. I'm really not sure how to find that information. Oh, we have no active relations. So if I make you guys into client states, let's reset. I guess I'll negotiate independently then. You will become my client state, and you will pay me money. And the idea here is that it's probably better to have these guys as a client state rather than just having a random province down here, because we can use them to have a presence here as a proxy. And then similarly, we can make this into a client state as well. But we will directly take this land for ourselves, although we could also turn this into a client state. But I have a claim on this, so I'll go for it myself. So we have a couple of little client states down here now. Now that does eat up, and they're relatively weak ones, and that does eat up 2 of our diplomatic relations. But, importantly, these guys will have their own armies, right? If I go in here and have a look, they have their own, like, 12,000 manpower. They'll have some cohorts. They're never going to like me. I'll send them a gift to get this to update. Actually, I could... They don't seem to hate me that much. But yeah, these 2 little client states, they're not going to do much for me, right? But they are a presence over here that is otherwise not going to be mine, that I wouldn't have. So we completed this war. What is going to be our next steps? Phrygia is guaranteeing Aetolia. How are you guaranteeing so many? Don't guarantees like use up your diplomacy? Like what the hell, Phrygia? Yeah, Thrace is guaranteeing these guys. So if I were to start a war down here in the south, it'd be basically a giant hug box that I don't want to interact with. So I guess we could start expanding to the north. Any of these little countries down here that we could invade? Phrygia is guaranteeing all of these guys. Now here's the thing. If I declare war on these guys, I could get Aetolia and Megalopolis and Ilis into the war. But it would not call Phrygia or any of these. Whereas if I were to declare war on some of these other guys, yes, this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity to go to war with these guys without having to call in these big superpowers. A little bit of manipulation there gets us through. I do need a governor in here. Let's see, monthly prominence. You shall do. The culture over here is definitely the wrong kind, but they're not too upset about it. They're actually pretty loyal. All things considered, and basically all of the tribesmen are gone, so I might not try to force my culture on them. They would be a lot happier if they were my culture. I guess he already has the culture policy in, so we'll leave it. Little city-states are sending us money, and we are building granaries with the goal of making a really populated Epirus. Just for the fun of it. Jump in there. I'm wondering, how is Neapolis going? It's already up to 2 pops. Let's go ahead and drop these troops off here. We can get started on this war. So if we declare war on this, one of the allies has dropped. Which was these guys, Aetolia. It's unfortunate. Oh well. We will seize the coastline of Sparta and stuff. Alright, I need to fabricate a claim. So I don't take war exhaustion and negative stability. Whoops. Alright, there we go. We are going to work on taking Laconia, which is this province that I have a claim on. We'll go down to speed 3, and we will pick up this guy right here. The game will look a little bit choppy. That's mostly because I have like everything set to max, I think. And I should not have clicked that button. And because I'm also running like capture software at the same time, so it'll look a little bit choppy, but like when I turn off my capture software, it's much smoother. Like when it's paused, it's perfectly like smooth, and this is what it looks like when I'm playing alone. But yeah, there's a little bit of performance struggles because I'm playing at a fairly high speed and all that sort of stuff. Hold on. You're at war with those guys, okay. Let's siege all this down. We'll bring in our little helpful 4 stacks. These are republics. This is the tribal chieftain of a country I don't care about. I'll just gain the popularity and prominence. That seems good. Sure thing, you can import olives. Seems fine. And they'll take care of all this little stuff for me. One thing is, in Imperator, it seems like it's a little bit harder to kind of split your troops up into smaller stacks. We will have more money soon. How's our tribesman percentage looking, actually? We're down to 13.96% tribesmen, which is great, because that means our tech must be holding nice and firm at a reasonable level of 96%. We don't want to dip too low. We also don't want to go too high. Otherwise we're just wasting potential manpower from freemen. Integration is going along just fine here. Only a few more years. Let's speed things up a little. We won the siege and we can stroll right past the next one. Now, I'm curious as to why this is -1, because I do have siege ability. So, like, this just must not be, displaying correctly. Yeah, it should be 57%. Whereas here it's saying -35%. Which is definitely not correct. So I'm guessing this number just isn't matching the correct things. Must just not be fully ready. But that's normal, right? The game isn't out yet. Oh, Blessing of Strength, or I would have loved that one, but I'm gonna have to take that one. Unfortunately, we can take another invention. Styling experience, national tribesman, wrong culture, happiness. Yes, I definitely want to take that. Now, I believe that there is wrong culture group and wrong culture. So this guy's not Latin culture, so they're getting +5 from that, right? And then there is wrong culture, which is these guys here. They are in my culture group, so they're only getting a -10. So that's going to make it, those sort of advances make it much easier to hold onto land, because there'll be less unrest as we expand. So it's good to pick up. Monthly loyalty would have been great to grab. I would love humane conduct. Ruler popularity, sacrifice to the gods. A lot of these don't really super appeal to me. We can live without a lot of them. The slave output would be amazing if we could get it to 10% gold. Like if you look at Roma here, right? These 26 slaves, each individually, collectively they're producing 1.37 base tax. And so a 10% boost to that is a significant amount. And then imagine like almost every province in my empire has slaves in it in a varying number. So, you know, it seems pretty good. How about over here? Are you guys done with tribesmen? Any more tribesmen growing? Ugh, Rome grew a tribesman and then started growing a new tribesman. That is infuriating. Okay, all the tribesmen are gone from Campania. So let's look at the distribution here. Is there like a significant amount more of a particular type of citizen? We could start redistributing the population into a more even groupings. We definitely don't need the civilization effort in here anymore. So we could do just like a generic encourage trade, which would allow us to import a resource into this province. We could do, let's see, borderlands, which would get us more manpower. We could also do bleed them dry, which would just get us a lot of money. I think we're going to go for, we're just going to go for the, well, I don't want to give the governor extra wage. Social mobility might not be bad to try and get a good distribution of the pops in here. It would lower the amount of research I get from these pops, but it would more evenly distribute the, I don't think there's just, I just don't think there's enough pops in here to really justify that yet. So what we'll do is we will go for, I guess I'll just leave it, maybe? Problem is that extra 20% governor wage really hurts. Because what is his current wage right now? I guess he's actually not technically really drawing a wage, is he? Sure, we'll do acquisition of wealth. Oh, now it shows. Jesus. Now he's pulling out a whole bunch of money. Now I regret making that change. God damn it. We'll just do Borderlands. Get a bit of extra manpower. Let's see, Imperator. So we've got a lot of heavy infantry here. We've got some troops over here too. Let's bring our boats over to here to get these infantry across. New ruler, civic faction, death. I think my leader died, oh well. What sort of attrition are you guys taking? 1.7. I'll let them bleed out to attrition for a bit. In fact, I could pull Ilis out of this war. I could transfer this land to Patrii. It's going to be a difficult battle without my heavy infantry, so let's get the heavy infantry in play. Land here. Now, they're on skirmishing stance, which means we are beating them handily. I kind of wish I had taken the discipline boost, but we're actually still like doing an obliterating amount of damage. But we'll have reinforcements here soon. And here they come. Excellent. This was a great battle for us. It did cost us like a decent amount of manpower, but we killed a lot. So let's get these light infantry retinues down to here. Keep working on stuff. Hey, who's this? I'm at war with these guys. Oh, well then. You go siege down their holding. Take these out if we can. Speed up time. We start sieging stuff down. Let's move these boats in. Let's actually, can we piece you out yet? So I'm thinking of actually transferring the occupation to Patrii and having them take the land. Although I do have a claim on this myself. Oh, you know what? I should have just moved this province to Patrii. But we'll give it to my vassal, right? We'll still take the war exhaustion, but we make this little vassal client state a little bit better. And now they'll have more money, they'll have more troops, more pops that they can use to draw for an army. They'll have more income, hopefully get more cohorts. I don't know. But yeah, but we'll eventually absorb them later on. Expansion of the tribes. Immigration, yes. Let's go ahead and take the discipline promotion. Alright, so we are going up against some heavy infantry, so that's something to keep in mind. We do have a discipline advantage. But they have other things going in their favor. Their troop quality is higher. We are fighting them off, though, pretty well. We were forced to retreat, which is fine. Although, do I even have military access through here? Yeah, so I'm imagining you're going to get to here and then just cancel. So yeah, it's mostly morale that we broke on, which is fine. There's oratory advances, very cool. Bring you guys into the fold. Standardized measures. Any of these that we really want to pick up? Is there any of these that I want to pick up before they disappear into the deck? Not really. Experience would be nice. Slave output for sure. Yeah, that one is really powerful because that's where all your money comes from. I think my next army will probably be a heavy infantry focused army. These guys are committed to the fight, so let's get in there to reinforce. The deception stance works pretty well against the skirmishing stance, so that's pretty happy. Let's have a look. So what I might do is I might transfer this occupation to Patre, and then I might transfer these ones to Achaia. Or Igon? Igon. Igion. And then try to turn this into a slightly beef out my client states again. Why don't you guys go siege that down for me? There's a 10,000 stack here. So we'll gain a bunch of money. And this is Velia again. See, so it's time to remove the Kemetic population. Could be removed. We would gain religious power. There'd be some unrest. We could appease them both, or we could get some unrest and get some money. I like the money. I like money, of course. Who doesn't like money? So once December rolls around, we'll be able to piece out Aetolia. Awesome, we won a battle. There is a martial advance, very nice. That's going to make our armies even more powerful. Okay, so let's sue for peace with these guys on a city by city level. That'll make these guys a little stronger, my little client states. I have a claim on Laconia, so I think I'm going to hold that myself. We'll get to work on capturing these last few provinces. I guess we'll go take these guys out too. Hopefully the deception stance works again. Excellent, and it did. We should be absolutely obliterating them with our stats advantage, and our discipline advantage, and our troop quality advantage. And you can see they're taking insane amounts of damage. These guys are killing 24 per day of other heavy infantry. Completely obliterated them thanks to the discipline and troop quality advantage. Excellent. Alright. And who am I at war with? I'm about to be fully occupying them. So I'm thinking I will transfer this to Poitiers. There's like a wonder here, it looks like, in Olympia. So I'll sue for peace with these guys individually. I might take this land for myself. Let's see, the conquest of Sparta. The proud home of the Lacedaemonians will remain unharmed. Local unrest. Some artifacts will be taken back. These petty hovels will be ripped apart if needed to find anything of value. So this would get us actually a really big boost to our heavy infantry for 10 years and a bunch of money. Or we could say merciful conquest. I think we'll be merciful. And we'll just let that be the way it is. There's a little bit of unrest here. I think it's mostly actually war exhaustion, surprisingly. But yeah, we'll get to work on some cultural assimilation here. We'll talk to these guys. That will hurt the loyalty a little bit by doing this, but now we have a couple of little client states that we can use to provide us with some garrison troops in this area. Kind of like these guys, right? These guys are providing like a little bit of a garrison to the Roman mainland that we're not really doing right now. What was our latest advance? Military. Navy maintenance cost, triumph. Oh, for sure we want the boat. The Boeotian helmet for discipline. 5% discipline is a decent chunk. We can get now. I think we're up to like 15% discipline total now. I think military show stats. Yeah. Up to 16% discipline, which is really, really great. Our armies grow stronger. Are you still guaranteed by Egypt? That is so annoying. The Seleucid Empire is completely getting obliterated. Thrace has expanded a bit. I might turn my eyes north, although civilizing the barbarians is always a tough call. It is actually kind of a little bit easier to go after these Greek areas first. How are we doing on culture over here? We have a couple of these provinces, and in fact, now that you are a majority of my culture, I could use slaves for colonization by moving slaves. Oh, I don't have enough points for that. We'll have to do that another time. But yeah, eventually I want to colonize this whole little island. and use it to fight off Carthage's influence in Sardinia? Corsica, Sardinia. I think that's what those are. But yeah, I think we've made some good progress in the first 30-ish years of the game. We've basically conquered most of Italy. We're integrating vassals. We have established a foothold in Greece. Now, it's not a very good foothold, and we do need to expand an army. In fact, that's going to be the last thing we do this episode. We're going to make a Principe. We're going to make a very, very heavy army. This will be essentially a shock army, I think, since we have the money. No, you will not be allowed to do that. Import grain, so we would get extra manpower from exporting that. Okay, so here, this army's composition is going to be... What are the current, like... How are we for attrition with our... this stack of troops? They're pretty light on the attrition here, so I think this next army might be like so 4 heavy infantry would be a total weight of 6. Plus 4 equites. Would be a total weight of 8. So that'd be a supply limit of 14 for a super heavy, sort of heavy cavalry, heavy infantry unit. Although, is that maybe too heavy? I mean, what are my bonuses for right now? I do have really good heavy infantry, and I have good light infantry. My archers aren't buffed at all. I could do a 50-50 mix of heavy and light infantry. Say, call it like... I don't know. Like that much. You know what? We're going to make these decisions in the next episode. I'm going to call that the end of the episode. I want to thank you guys very much for watching. Hope you guys are enjoying the series. Please remember to subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. I love you all very much. And I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.